LNG from Canada, I think, has great potential here in India. We have the opportunity to export gas from both the east and the west coast of Canada. On the west coast, we have a number of projects that are in the process of being approved and built. And on the east coast, you have an existing pipeline network and infrastructure that could support the export of gas. Probably the fastest way to get gas to India is from the east coast if all the pieces came together. And that's both the pipeline and storage facilities and liquefier. West Coast will be a little bit longer because we're still going through the permitting process. Some pipelines have to be built, and then of course the liquefier as well. But we have an enormous amount of gas. We have a small population of 33 million people, and of course we're looking at markets for our energy. And we have not only gas, but also we have the third largest reserves of oil in the world. So. Well, I think we have in place now an energy dialogue that's at the ministerial level. We've had one meeting in Ottawa, and we've seen some movement on a number of critical issues on the oil side in particular. Our provinces, similar to your states, are responsible for the royalty regimes that exist in our country. The province of Alberta, where we have a lot of gas, but also the location of our oil sands, which are our largest oil deposits, they have an organization, a government organization called the Alberta Petroleum Marketing Commission, and they take oil in exchange for royalty. And they have, during the last Energy Dialogue meeting, they signed an MOU with Indian Oil for offtake of, at some point in time, it was a letter of, it wasn't an MOU, it was a letter of interest, to be able to take oil. They have a capacity, they have taken capacity on the pipeline going from the west to the east, and that will give Indian Oil access to some of that capacity. So that's a start, and you need to have the supply. And from a regulatory perspective, I think one of the challenges that India has is to be able to distribute the gas, is to build the regasification facilities and then distribute the gas. So you have some already in place, but it's always a question of how you negotiate your agreements on a long-term basis to get the supply of gas, and then once you get it, how it's distributed. Well, I mean, again, because the market had been traditionally United States, it will force us now to take a look at how we can move gas off either coast to markets. Off the East Coast, it would be Europe and India. Off the West Coast, it's Asia, including potentially India. And the opportunity, once you have gas being evacuated, you can develop long-term supply contracts, but you can also start swapping. So it's really access to the resource that's required. So our focus now in Canada is how do we diversify our market away from the United States, and it's not because the U.S. doesn't want our gas, it's just that they have so much of their own. So we need to be smart in terms of how we manage that geostrategically. So the logical customers for us, Japan, Korea, China, as I mentioned, and with the problems in the Ukraine, the European market is quite attractive as well. So I think that's one reason why you're seeing the East Coast alternative becoming viable and of interest to an awful lot of parties.